What's going on, boys? It's day number 48 of reading through the book of Isaiah. Today we're going to be looking at two little subjects in the 48th chapter of Isaiah. Both chapters are basically mere opposites of each other for the nation of Israel, which is one of the major nations that is covered throughout this whole story. The other day, we were talking about how throughout the whole series of Isaiah, there's this kind of problem and solution format to where Isaiah is being spoken by God, spoken from God, to go and share these words of encouragement with the nations in what we know now as the Middle East, Egypt, Judea, Israel, Babylon. And the ultimate reason why he's called to do this is because he is going over there to try and bring God to them, because these people are going their own ways. They're worshiping their own, man-made gods, what we call idolatry, and this is leading them very much astray from what God is calling them to do, what God made them for intentionally. And so for today, we're going to be looking at two verses, one from each title, and that will cover the what's actually called as stubborn Israel, and then we'll look at Israel being freed. So the verse I wanted to look at first is verses 9 through 11, where it is said, "For my own name's sake I delay my wrath. For the sake of my praise I hold it back from you, so as not to destroy you completely. See, I have refined you, though not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction. For my own sake, I do this. How can I let myself be defamed? I will not yield my glory to another." So essentially what he's getting at here is that God does not immediately answer. I'm read from my notes here. But God does not immediately provide us with success until we have earned it. And what this means is that, while God does have the ability to provide us with basically anything that is, pretty much imaginable, he wants us to learn and wants us to work hard and wants us to actually get out there and do hard work. And, while we are saved, we continue to face temptations and tests every day. And that's the one thing that most people take for granted, is that, oh, I'm saved and I can just kind of do whatever I want. And I think that's what's happening to these people here in Israel, is they think, oh, well, I'm saved. I can just do whatever I want. Like, I'm still saved. Like, God's already saved me. Like, I can do what I want. Like, I'm already saved. Like, it doesn't matter. And I can assure you that's not true. Like, just because you're saved doesn't mean you have a free pass to go and do whatever you want, go have as much fun as you want. Like, you're still having to set these daily values and basically rules almost to abide by. And at first it sucks, because you don't want to have to follow by it. And listen, I'll be honest, I myself struggle with it. There are so many things that I try to put together, but I can't, just because I'm so used to old routines, and it's just a matter of, what I think other people are going to feel about me. But I have to remind myself that, it doesn't matter, how other people view you. They can yell at you, they can scream at you, they can do what they want. That's them. God calls you for a specific reason, and I'm pretty sure if he calls you, and he calls all of us, then we should listen to him. The God of the universe, the God of everything that ever exists, is calling you. I'm pretty sure that's a pretty big thing that we should not ignore or just forget about. And I believe that God allows these tests and temptations to take place in our lives because he wants us to learn the difference between right and wrong. There's a quote that I heard at my orientation for college about a month ago. And there was one of the guys up there, he was talking about the university and some programs they had to offer. And one of the quotes that he shared with us was, I'm going to try and remember it as best as I can, but you learn lessons to take the tests in school. So the whole point of school is to teach you lessons to prepare you for tests. Whereas in life, you take tests to teach you lessons. So life and school are counter opposites, but they're both beneficial for you. And life is much more difficult because you have tests all the time and you don't know what they're going to be. Whereas in school, you do know what the test is going to be. So the ultimate, point of that is that, in life, expect the unexpected. You don't know what's going to come for you. You don't know what kind of tests you're going to be put up for. You don't know what kind of battlefield you're going to have to fight on. You don't know. So that's why you always have God in the center. You don't just think, oh, well, this happened before, so it's just going to happen again. Like, everything's different. Every battle's different. Every temptation is different. But they can all fall back to a primary source. And that's where you have to find it and learn how to overcome it. So the second half talks about Israel being freed. And there's one verse that I want to touch upon real quick that kind of just, helps me kind of understand what is going on. And it's verse 16, where Isaiah says, "Come near me and listen to this. From the first announcement, I have not spoken in secret. At the times it happens, I am there. And now the sovereign Lord has sent me, endowed with his spirit." So Isaiah fully admits that since the first thing that God has spoken to him, Isaiah has shared with the people. So Isaiah is not selfish. He is not, trying to keep it all for himself. He's like, look, ever since I've been called by God, everything that he's told me about the world, I've shared it. I've shared my opinions with the world. And maybe that's something that, we are called to do. Maybe we need to share our opinions, but we have to be careful because we don't want to get too far along and intentionally tick somebody off or, get into some real conflict. But in life, you're going to have to say things, you're going to have to do things that is just not something that, you would say beforehand. And I'm not saying you should go out and you should curse everybody and shame people, but it's more of a look, you have to be willing to, stand up for yourself and understand that not everybody's going to agree with you. Not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to respect you. Not everybody's going to want to do what you want to do. That's okay. That doesn't mean that you have to stop doing what you're doing. You have to find what works for you. And the only way you can do that is by talking with God and praying to him and allowing him to work through you. And be like Isaiah. Be honest, be fluent, provide people with hope. Isaiah is providing hope for the country of Israel. So maybe it's our turn to provide hope for our communities, our families, our friends, our churches, our countries, whatever. But I hope that encourages you. I'm going to go ahead and read today's daily prayer, and then we will finish it off. Today we are on July 14th. Today's topic is called Made Right, and the verse connected to it is Romans chapter 3, verse 22, verse 23. We are made right with God by placing our faith in Jesus Christ, and this is true for everyone who believes, no matter who we are. For everyone has sinned. We fall short of God's glorious standard. Father, I want to walk in your ways. It is in my heart to do your will, but I know that my prosperity towards sin and this ease for which I am gratified by things of this world. Give me a heart that hates sin and loves you. Fill me with your joy and your spirit and passion for your word. I want to be like the tree planted in the streams of your living water, yielded good fruit in the right season. When you help me, God, I know that I can be prosperous and accomplish the things that you have given me to do. I want to further your kingdom. So when we place our trust in Jesus Christ, we are made right with God. So let's go out to this world and encourage each other and remember that we depend on God for everything that we have and everything that we want to do. That is today's word. I will see you guys very soon. Peace out, boys.